Well, Biden is on his way out, and we're already fact-checking the top 5 lies from his DNC speech here on Beyond the Headlines, only on Vigilant News. This segment is sponsored by Goldco, providing Americans a real pathway to protect their retirement and savings with precious metals at vnngold.com. I'm Elijah Schaefer. Let's start the show. Well, the coup against the former president, I should say the current president, but we don't know who's actually running this country, Joe Biden, is well underway, and as they are installing their new Führer, Kamala Harris. And it's kind of insane that we know Nancy Pelosi was behind this, and as you can see here from this clip, not only was she at the convention, but she was actually cheering him on. And you see the evil in her eyes. She looks like she got caught, as Nancy Pelosi recently admitted, not only that she was behind trying to force the 25th Amendment on President Joe Biden, but that in fact, she was the one who worked with the Obamas and close associates to coup him out of office. Was it legal? That's still questionable. But that's the face of betrayal right there as she confronts him. Now, I mentioned here, we'll talk a little bit about the lies and what's going on, but the speech didn't come out very well for him. You know, he had his normal gaffes, as you would expect, but one of the main things that I thought was as crazy was this. Check this out.
Women are not without electoral or political power.
Women are not without electoral. And he looks at everyone and does this. Because we know he didn't win. We know he was never in charge of the country. He didn't win 2020. He did not even run the country. Nobody showed up to his inauguration. They used January 6th as the excuse. And in retrospect, looking back, maybe we should have done more. You know what I mean? I'm not going to, Fed post and get myself in trouble here, but perhaps, maybe we just should have done more. Now, when we're talking about his top 5 lies and what went over there, we have an amazing post that is here on X where you can get your news every single day. This one's from Overton News. Check this out. Fact-checking the top lies told by President Biden during the DNC address in under 5 minutes. Let's talk about the bloodbath hoax. Amidst his address, Biden doubled down on the bloodbath hoax, claiming that President Trump promised to ignite a bloodbath in the country if he loses the election. He's promising a bloodbath if he loses, in his words. Biden or his speechwriters appear to be referencing a remark made by Trump at a campaign rally in Dayton, Ohio in March, which has been taken out of context. During that rally, Trump spoke about the American auto industry, suggesting that without his policies implemented, the industry, and entire country for that matter, would suffer significantly, i.e. a bloodbath. We're going to put 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line. And rather than listening to my words for it, listen to exactly what he says here. Watch.
He's promising a bloodbath if he loses, in his words.
We're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line. And you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it. But they're not going to sell those cars. They're building massive factories. A friend of mine, all he does.
So clearly, as you can see, that's Trump, and he's talking about the election. Now, when we're talking about this, that's not the only lie that happened. In fact, there was more ridiculousness from the Biden camp. We go down here to the next one, number 2. How about the very fine people on both sides lie? Let's talk about this. So you go down here during his DNC address this evening, President Biden reiterated the false claim that former President Trump referred to neo-Nazis and white supremacists as, quote, very fine people after the 2017 Charlottesville rally. Neo-Nazis, white supremacists, the Ku Klux Klan, so emboldened by a president then in the White House they saw as an ally, they didn't even bother to wear their hoods. Biden went on to say, let's fact check that claim directly against what happened. Watch.
Neo-Nazis, white supremacists, the Ku Klux Klan, so emboldened by a president then in the White House that they saw as an ally. They didn't even bother to wear their hoods. Hate was on the march in America. Old ghosts in new garments, stirring up the oldest divisions, stoking the oldest fears, giving oxygen to the oldest forces that they long sought to tear apart America. In the process, a young woman was killed. When I contacted her mother, I asked about what happened. She told me. When the president was asked what he thought had happened. Donald Trump said, and I quote, "There are very fine people on both sides. My God." That's what he said. That is what he said and what he meant.
Now, is that what actually happened? Well, when you look at this, it says, well, Trump obviously didn't say very fine people on both sides, but clarified that he was referring to the protesters and counter-protesters, not neo-Nazis, white nationalists, whom he condemned totally. Now, I know most of you are not racist, but being a white nationalist, you can be a black nationalist, a white nationalist. Like, these phrases are sort of taken out of context, right? They think that a white nationalist means that nobody can live in the country that isn't white, when really white nationalism is just a phrase of people who don't want to be replaced in their homeland. Whether you disagree with that, that's up to you. But remember, don't let them define the terms, because they'll push every other supremacy of racial supremacy while they target white people. So we'll leave that up to you to decide how you support that. Now, many of you guys know that they tried to kill a former president on TV. I want you to forget about it, right? They covered the whole thing up, cremated the body, cleaned up the crime scene in just a few minutes there. You don't think they're going to come for you? Well, they will. They're going to come for your livelihood, because we live in a different world today than we have ever lived in our entire lives. All bets are off, and it's up to you to protect yourself and your family. That's why I want you to go to VNN Gold right now. That's VNNGold.com, VNNGold.com. Learn about how the top-rated precious metals company, Goldco, can help you. They're a great company. They support this show, and for my listeners, you can get up to a 10% instant match in bonus silver on qualified purchases. Whether you go on to get your IRA, or you want to transfer to a gold IRA, or you just want to buy some precious metals like I did that you can physically hold on to, Goldco can help you today. So go to VNNGold.com. That's VNNGold.com. That's VNNGold.com. Now, getting back to some of these things here. Number 3, let's talk about this one. He said here, there's fewer border crossings than when Trump left office. What could go down as the most outrageous lie that the president told was related to the border and the surge in illegal crossings under the Biden administration. He said, then I had to take executive action. The result of the executive action I took, border encounters have dropped over 50%. In fact, that are fewer border crossings today than when Donald Trump left office. Despite the recent declines, Customs and Border Protection's data show border encounters remain significantly higher than when President Trump left office, making the Democrats' pre-election self-praise unfounded after years of border chaos created by the policies. Now, number 4, it was this: suckers and losers. President Biden repeated the unfounded claim that President Trump disparaged veterans, calling them suckers and losers, and refused to visit the grave sites of U.S. service members while in Europe, saying, we know from his own chief of staff, the 4-star general John Kelly, that Trump, when in Europe, would not go to the grave sites and one of France, the brave service members who gave their lives to this country. He called them suckers and losers. Who in the hell does he think he is? Now, here's the clarification. President Trump has consistently denied over making this statement, which the entire story stemming from a single 2020 article in The Atlantic that relied on anonymous sources. President Trump spoke about the fake quote attributed to him. That was a made-up quote. Suckers and losers, they made it up. It was a third-rate magazine that's failing, like many of these magazines. Biden made that up. He put it in commercials. We had 19 people who said that I didn't say it. And lastly, I guess they didn't put the 5th one there, but if you enjoyed this thread, please consider following the network over to news. The 5th lie that he said is that, obviously he's not going to be stepping down from office. He probably will be. Who knows? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video. And if you can do 2 things for me to support independent media and support our country, go ahead and subscribe to our newsletter at vigilantnews.com, or you can subscribe to get these videos on our Rumble and our X accounts at Vigilant News. My name is Elijah Schaefer. Thank you for watching Beyond the Headlines. Have a great rest of the week, and may God bless the United States of America. I'm signing out.